Good morning. Thank you for this opportunity. Do I use my outside voice or my inside voice? Can everybody hear me? I presented, when I arrived, copies of my testimony so that you can follow while I read. There were a lot of things to remember, and I figured that the best thing to do is put it in writing so that we can read it together and that nothing is left out of the record. To answer Mr. Lehrbach's question, line 84 only served boring to Gresham. My initial letter to General Manager McFarland, dated in September of 2010, asked for service from boring to Oregon City, as Oregon City is our county seat. If you're on jury duty, parking is a problem. And that was one of the issues that we asked for improvement of service, of which TriMet said no. With that, I'll start with my testimony. Thank you.
Thank you.
Honorable board members, General Counsel Janet Toren advised me that the public forum for this topic at this meeting is meant for new information, and with respect to this advisement, I wish to offer the following. At the November 9th board work session, staff informed you of a corrected cost associated with TriMet service to the boring area. A board member asked if that included costing for the park and ride and the Gresham Transit Center. The people of Boring reject the premise that costing of the park and ride and the Gresham Transit Center can be affixed to the Boring area TriMet service costs for the following reasons. Anyone who parks and boards max at Gresham is bound for destinations within Multnomah County and the city of Portland. This can be a Sandy resident, this can be a Damascus resident, this can be a resident of Central Oregon. None of these areas pay tax to TriMet. Based upon these facts, affixing estimated costs to the boring TriMet service in this manner is not applicable or reasonable. The TriMet payroll tax is paid by businesses with the assumption that the TriMet service will benefit the local economy by transporting employees and or customers. Multnomah County and the city of Portland businesses generally receive this benefit. It has been proven that the boring businesses do not. Our calculations show that the revised costing for TriMet service to the boring area includes all lift trips for non-boring residents as well as residents. 20% of these lift trips are lift clients who live outside the TriMet Transit District. 572 of these rides can be attributed to residents in the vicinity of the city of Sandy. The people and taxpayers of Boring are appalled at this costing for the following reasons. 572 lift rides multiplied by the advertised TriMet cost per ride of $28.62 equals $16,370.64. The city of Sandy withdrew from TriMet some 10 years ago. As a result, Sandy businesses are not required to, nor do they pay TriMet taxes. With this evidence, TriMet has elected to spend boring taxpayer money to subsidize the city of Sandy transit system. Yet, TriMet refused to expand service to South Boring, where there are TriMet taxpayers who have no TriMet service. However, if TriMet maintains that the revised cost estimate of approximately $460,000 is indeed accurate and justifiable, then approving withdrawal of the boring area will save TriMet that amount of money and can be applied to reduce its budget deficit. With that said, we have been confronted with the daunting task of reviewing the record through November 7, 2011. We received our copy late in the afternoon of November 8, which did not allow enough time for review and presentation at the work session on November 9th. We will take this opportunity to provide you with our findings. Thousands of people were made aware of the petition to withdraw the boring area from TriMet. It is interesting that the response to posted notices, press releases, television and radio coverage, newspaper and internet articles yielded only 59 written comments and or testimony. I broke down the 59 response, and I won't go through it here. It's really not applicable, but I thought it was sort of interesting so that you can, if you want to, you can see where the people resided, who responded, and whether they were with or for withdrawal or against it. But I do want to make a notation that the TriMet Committee on Accessible Transportation opposed the withdrawal. It is noted herewith that TriMet staff misinformed this committee on some items as the incorrect information is repeated in the written record. I also want to point out that Mr. Stan Sitzer, a resident of Boring, the only TriMet customer to attend any of the meetings that we held in Boring with our deliberations with your representatives earlier this year, he testified in support of the withdrawal. Your only customer in Boring that we could find. The City of Sandy written comments apparently contained statements of exaggeration and innuendo. These statements were repeated as fact by the hearings officer, and portions thereof were reiterated in his conclusion statements. We made a formal request from the City of Sandy, of which a copy of that letter is attached, asking them for data and information to substantiate their written comments or written statements. The written response, which is also attached to this document from the City of Sandy, recanted those original statements. Without these statements of exaggeration and innuendo, the hearings officer may have come to a different conclusion. It has been stated and agreed that TriMet is underserving the Boring area in fixed route service. It has also been stated and agreed that the ridership is far below the normal average throughout the TriMet system. As a result, the primary concern is servicing the lift clients in the event of withdrawal of the Boring area by TriMet. Proponents of withdrawal have stated that we are concerned about the vulnerable. Pragmatism rules our thought process. Reasonable cost is key. No matter how you calculate it, the Boring taxpayers are paying over twice the average cost of $28.62 per lift ride for its residents. For example, with the deduction of the fixed route costing, the amount of TriMet taxes paid is about $465,000.